Hi, this is Steve Rigolosi again, and yes, all you editorial types no doubt noticed that in my rush to get off screen, I had promised to talk about 10 pieces of punctuation, and instead I only talked about 9. Um, if I had the capacity to go in and edit these videos, I would have just spliced this on to the end of the last one, but I don't know how to do that. So I give this to you as a coda, and I will keep it short. So I promised a little bit of a very quick overview of new punctuation. And you can do a web search for this and find more information about it. But over the years, decades, even centuries, there have been proposed new pieces of punctuation whose goal is ostensibly to do something that our existing system of punctuation cannot. And so I wanted to just show you guys 2 pieces that I really like. I wouldn't use them, but I like the idea of them. So let me see if they will show up well. So on top there, you've got the interrobang, and below that, you've got the certitude point. So the interrobang, you can see, is a combination of a question mark and an exclamation point, and the certitude point almost looks like a dagger with a period beneath it. So the interrobang, I like the idea behind it, which is that you can say something, often in conversation, that is equal parts question and explanation, and exclamation. So if someone says to you innocently, I didn't expect to see you on the corner of Fifth Avenue and 40th Street. You could say, oh, what are you talking about? Meaning, I wasn't there. I wasn't on the corner of Fifth Avenue and 40th Street. And you just, that would be a question. You're curious. What are you talking about? Or if you're having a bad day, or you feel like you're being accused, or you have a negative history with this person and you don't like his or her tone, you can say, what are you talking about? And that's equal parts exclamation and question mark. And that would be a place to use an interrobang. And I see that a lot of the fonts that I use, granted, I'm not a designer, so I don't use a huge number of fonts, but a lot of the fonts that I use have an interrobang character. But it hasn't taken off. I think some powerful and edgy people, some opinion makers, taste makers, will have to start using the interrobang regularly for the rest of us, the rank and file, to be able to say, oh, Jonathan Franzen uses the interrobang. That means it's okay. Or, the White House has begun to use interrobangs in its government reports. The government on high has given its approval to the interrobang, and now it's safe for all of us. I don't know if that will ever happen. I don't think I've ever seen a manuscript where the author has used an interrobang. It's one of those things that's probably more appealing in theory than in practice. But it's certainly better than, what are you talking about? Question mark, exclamation point, question mark, exclamation point, blah, 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 ad infinitum. The certitude point, I like that one too, because it can convey what I think of as a parental tone. So I think a good example would be a teenager comes to his father and says, I'll be going away for the weekend with my bros. And the father says, no, you will not be doing that. And I can see that certitude point ending that sentence, because the father is saying there will be no argument, there will be no negotiation, this is certain, this will not change, don't even bother to respond, because this conversation stops here. I don't see the certitude point in the fonts that I use. That doesn't mean it's not there. I just haven't seen it. I haven't gone looking for it. But what I like about them, and there are other pieces too, which Mental Floss has an article on the web about alternative proposed pieces of punctuation. So look it up. You'll enjoy it. It's short and entertaining the way so many Mental Floss articles are. But I think the lesson or the point that I take away from the fact that these newfangled pieces of punctuation haven't entered common parlance or common writing is that what we do have is so versatile and so useful that they cover just about anything you could want to communicate, whether it's you're punctuating a sentence in a computer manual that's teaching you how to program in C++. I don't even know if that's the language used anymore. Assembly language. I know that's still out there. Or whether it's this gorgeous serpentine descriptive piece of writing from a novel. What we've got in terms of punctuation will let us do just about anything I can think of, except maybe the interrobang. We haven't quite figured out that exclamation and question at the same time. So if I had to go to the polls and vote for one new piece of punctuation, it would be the interrobang. And then I would say what I've said a million times before, which is don't go crazy with them. Use them once in a blue moon and you'll be fine. If your writing is a series of interrobangs, you may have your reader bouncing off the walls with so much uncertainty and excitement. Okay, so that's my coda. That's number 10 and number 11, I guess you could say. If you personally have any new pieces of punctuation that you would like to put out there in the world, leave a comment. I think we'd all like to see them. And food for thought, I'll leave you with this. I mean, is it possible that emoticons, I'm showing my age, emoji, are they the new punctuation? Are they the new, have they given our language, our written language, greater power to express the wide range of things that we want to express? And I think that there could be arguments made on both sides of that. I personally would never use an emoticon, an emoji in anything professional that I was writing. I don't even like to use them in text messages. Just the editor in me just feels made slightly dirty by emoji. But they can be useful, especially when you're cracking a joke and you're worried that the receiving party will not find it funny or will not understand that you're trying to be jocular. But the other side of that coin is, if you're not sure how your words are going to be received, maybe rewrite them so that you can eliminate the doubt and keep a friend or keep a relationship going. I did in one of the books that I worked on, I want to say within the last year or so, it reprinted several interesting articles about language and so forth. And one of them was an article that was completely anti-emoji, and basically calling emojis the end of life as we know it, and accusing anyone who uses them of being less than human. A bit of an extreme argument, but I like a strong argument. I always feel free to disagree with strong arguments. I think that's what good civilized discourse should be all about. So again, that's it for now. I didn't mean to make you watch 2 videos when you really should have only watched 1, but I'm a work in progress, and who knows, someday maybe these videos will get a major bump up in production values, or at least a change of scenery. I mean, my office doesn't change that much, except for the infusion of new books pretty regularly. Okay, thanks everyone. Have a good night. Bye.